Going live.
Okay.
Hey, we are now live. Luckily we have no viewers yet, but we're going to get started anyway. So let me roll the intro.
Let's talk about Hale and Rama's trailer drop, House of the Dragon ready to bop. Bad Jedi making waves smash at the castle, results in maze lightning round, DVD releases gleam, box office roundup. Every movie dream, who's gonna show? Nobody knows. It's Super Sunday wrap up. Sunday. That's what we're talking about. It's Super Sunday wrap up. Sunday. Sunday wrap up. Sunday. That's what we're talking about. Don't turn away. Don't turn away. It's time to play. It's time to play. Skippity doo lay. On Super Sunday. Let's start the fray.
I've got one that can see.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's do the introductions and find out what's happening today. We got Fox Drew. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How's it going with you?
It's going great. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers. And the last, I think, Mother's Day, we did say Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers. So it's time to say that to the fathers out there. Good morning, Cole. How's your microphone this week?
Good.
Awesome. A little quiet, a little volume down, but that's okay. We're glad to have you back this week, buddy. Glad to have you here. Gray, how is your weekend going, sir?
Oh, so good. Yeah, getting over a little illness. Other than that, everything's great. I'm feeling good. Happy to be here. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Happy Father's Day. Yes. Warren, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Happy Father's Day. And yeah, I'm glad to be here. Yeah.
We know that we got a little update. Kitty's not going to be able to make it. She's actually out with friends this evening. So enjoy your evening, Kitty. We'll have your presents whenever you're free, and that's great. Also, 76 will be preparing for her Father's Day events today, so she's not going to be joining us either, but that's okay. We have who we have whenever we have them, and we're glad to have them.
Like Costco.
Like Costco. What's there is there, and that's all you get. But I think it was Warren was saying that we needed to do go back to the video intros the way we used to have them, and I think we're gonna do that. So let's start with the Wheel of Topics.
Wheel of Topics for today. Wheel of Topics here to stay. Wheel of Topics make my day. Wheel of Topics Super Sunday. Now it's time to spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
Is that the kind of thing you were looking at there, Warren?
That warmed my soul. Thank you.
This week, you may see something a little special on the wheel there. We've got 3 different promos available. So we'll be increasing the promos as we get closer and closer to comic book releases. So that's what we have on the wheel there. Should we go ahead and take a spin?
Yes, sir.
All right. There we go. Wow, we're starting with the lightning round, guys.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Isn't that great? That is.
What was it?
awesome.
Bob's not here. That's his favorite one, isn't it?
I know. It's hard to make bail on the weekends. So let's see what we can do there for the lightning round. We got a new one of those. Kitty would probably be disappointed by that music because it's not her favorite. But let's see if we can't have her favorite going while we do the lightning round. We got 7 questions about Pixar. 3 answers, 1's right. Let's see what we know about Pixar because they do have a release coming out this weekend. So we'll celebrate that. We'll go clockwise, starting with Fox through Cole, Gray, Poupée, and then Warren. Be sure to update your scores as we go. And if you're out there, you can play along to update your score in the comments. With that being said, here we go. Which was Pixar's first feature-length film? Was it A Bug's Life, Finding Nemo, or Toy Story?
No, that's an easy one. That's Toy Story. Easy.
Cole, do you agree with Fox?
Yeah, I do. I'm just wondering if it was like their very first film ever. That one short film was first, but yeah, for feature length, it is that.
Okay. Gray?
Yeah, I'm going with the consensus. It's the one that started it all. Toy Story.
And Warren, how do you feel about it? The House of Mouse. Well, it wasn't back then.
Toy Story.
Final answer. And what do the comments say? Nothing at this point, so we'll move on. You guys are correct. Give yourselves a point if you thought it was Toy Story. Easy questions first. Let everybody's guards down. And who is the main character in Ratatouille? Is it Remy, Colette, or Linguini? Fox?
Ooh. Remy, but I mean, anyways.
Okay. Cole?
I mean, technically, you could say there's 2, but I guess Remy.
Okay. And Gray?
Yeah, it's hard for me to ever say no to Linguini, but yeah, I got to go with Remy on this one.
Yeah. And Warren, I skipped you completely. Oh my goodness. I apologize. You get a free point for that one. That's the shakes are coming back, I guess.
Okay, thanks.
Got that hair trigger. Got that hair trigger going. All right. Which Pixar film required the development of a new software system called Menvy for the creation of crowd scenes? Was it Finding Nemo, Bug's Life, or Toy Story?
Oh, this is an easy one. Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. There we go. Cole, which one do you believe it to be?
Well, I guess I'll go with their most recent and technical. I can't speak. Sorry, technical. I fuck. Now you gave it to me. Got that tech? No law.
Technological. Wow. Here you go there.
Jesus. Look, it's like 6 a.m. Where? Okay. Anyway, Finding Nemo. Yeah.
Finding Nemo. Okay. Gray?
Yeah, I have no clue. I could not tell you what Men V is. I'm feeling a bit different. So let's go Toy Story 2. I think there's a crowd in that movie.
Okay. And let's not forget ever again, Warren.
I'm gonna go with The Bug's Life because there's definitely a crowd in that movie.
Yeah, I do believe there are a lot of crowds. Although they're bugs, they're not really people, but they're definitely crowds. Let's see what the answer is. Walter, you got an idea? Is it Finding Nemo, A Bug's Life, Toy Story? Okay. We'll wait on Walter's answer, but we'll get to it when we get to it. We'll do. It's A Bug's Life. Yes.
Oh, wow. I'm actually surprised with that one.
Oh, look.
Yeah,
Walter
me
got
too.
it. Walter got it right. Give yourself a point, Walter.
I thought with Finding Nemo, like it wouldn't really be a crowd, right? Wouldn't it be like a school of fish or something? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like crowd would be correct for that one.
I see what you're saying. I was taking it. I mean, perhaps. When did Bug's Life come out? Was it before Finding Nemo? Because they would have used that. Yeah, okay. So they would have used that technology with Finding Nemo. I was like, if they didn't have it already, they would have needed it for Finding Nemo.
Yeah, and they don't use that anymore either because they got rid of it and they're using something else now as they go. So let's see, what else do we have here? Which Pixar short film features a chess game between an old man and himself? Is it For the Birds, Piper, or Jerry's Game? Fox?
I'm going with Jerry's Game because I know none of these.
Okay. Cole?
Can I go last? Because I know this. I don't want to give it away to the others.
Sure, we can do that. Warren? We're not skipping you anymore. We're putting you number 2.
I don't even know this, so I'm gonna just skip the random Piper. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Piper. I don't know any of these, to be honest.
Okay. Gray?
Yeah. I guess I'm going with a consensus. For the Birds doesn't sound right to me. But Jerry's Game sounds so close to like Gerald's Game, which is a Stephen King's one. I don't know. I guess I'm going Jerry's Game, but I don't have a reason for it. I know I've seen the short though.
And Cole, what is the correct answer?
Jerry's Game.
Okay.
Walter says Jerry's Game is 2 on the nose, going for the Birds. So let's see. Jerry's Game it is. Yes. He won his teeth in that chess match against himself. That's what they were playing for. Use of the teeth. So it's quite a cute little short. Which Pixar film features a character named Joy? Is it Toy Story, Inside Out, or Brave? Fox?
It's too easy. Inside Out.
Warren?
Inside Out.
Gray?
Yeah, they're correct. Yeah, I forgot which question we're on, but they're correct. Inside Out.
Inside Out. And Cole?
Yes, the film that stole the Oscar from Anomalisa, Inside Out.
Walter agrees with you. And what does my sometimes correct, sometimes incorrect answer say? Inside Out. Inside Out. So
you should
far,
be 4.
so good.
Great.
I normally miss at least one in a lightning round. So, but we'll see what happens. Who co-founded Pixar Animation Studios in 1986? Was it Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, or Roy Disney? Fox?
Ooh. Well, Roy Disney makes a lot of sense, so I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out to be him, but I'm going to go with Steve Jobs.
Okay. Steve Jobs, that's a fair choice. Warren?
Bill Gates. I'll just be different.
Okay. Gray?
Sorry, my dog is barking. Steve Jobs. It's the man.
The man, Steve Jobs. Walter agrees. And Cole?
Yeah, I'll just go Steve Jobs, because I don't think it's Bill Gates, and I feel like Roy Disney's probably too on the nose. I don't think he had involvement.
Well, we do know that Pixar was originally developed under George Lucas at Industrial Light and Magic, and was basically sold off to Steve Jobs, who named it Pixar, based on the computer system that they were using at the time to do it. So, yeah, Steve Jobs is the right answer. Which Pixar director is credited with the creation of the Luxo Junior lamp mascot?
You clicked it twice. Okay.
I clicked it twice.
Well,
I guess give you a hint here. Let's go back and... Oh, you know what? I did not click it twice. I put them in the wrong order.
Well.
You know what? I was bound to screw one up, and it had to be the last one. So there we go. What a resounding 7. sad ending to the lightning round.
They could have been any of them. Those were all very, unlike with the last one, right? Where there was only really one correct answer. These John Lasseter, Brad Bird, and Pete Docter. Didn't they all work at Pixar?
Yes.
So I mean, it really could have been any of those three. From a
That's
layman's perspective, who knows the names?
Everybody should give themselves a point for that one.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have said John though, just because I don't know. He seems like the oldest person who like did stuff at Pixar, wasn't he?
Yeah. I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt in his honor today. So.
Yeah, I mean he is a piece of shit, but whatever.
Oh well, you want to expand on that?
Oh, just
be happy to give you a hug for it.
You might want to look some stuff up about him. That's all.
Apparently he's a little handsy.
Yeah, I some people are friendly, and he looks like he's pretty friendly. So, but you got to give him credit for bringing over a lot of the Miyazaki films early on. So, people are good and bad, I guess. We all have our hang-ups, and his happen to be on other people. So. All right. Jeez. All right, let me do that real quick. And what do you say we give it another spin, guys?
All right.
Okay.
Come on, promo time. Ooh.
I think
the non-controversial topic.
I think we are going to go with the Acolyte there. Since it came up, and I got a little something for that. Where'd I put it? Here we go.
Oh, let's talk about the latest show. Did you watch it? I need to know. Did you love it or was it no? We can agree to disagree. Some people love it. Those are the right people. Some people don't. Those are the white people. We can agree to disagree. Unless you don't agree with me, bro. Oh.
That song. Oh my gosh.
I had the best time writing that song, by the way. Those lyrics were actually mine as opposed to ChatGPT. I can't give them credit for the lyrics on that. However, you can give AI the credit for doing a wonderful reggae rendition of it. So, but yeah, the Acolyte has people. They have strong opinions, even though it's mostly online journalists, there are people out there that are standing firm by it, and there are people out there that are standing firm against it for varied reasons. I just know that those that love it call people haters if they don't. Those people who hate it call people other names for loving it.
Maybe it's just my cursed feed, but like I am getting nobody that loves it. I'm seeing a few people that are defending it, but it's like it could be good, but I'm not seeing anything that's like I love it. This is the most amazing thing. I've seen a lot of people hate it, but perhaps that's just my algorithm.
Well, I haven't seen it. The only thing I've seen are the clips that are being shared, and I'm pretty sure that they are sharing the worst parts of it. So I reserve judgment on that.
What is it? I mentioned before stream started about how I like the production values and such, but I mean, if you're focusing on the story aspects, there's not really, especially this latest episode, there's not really a good scene that you can really share. They're all got problems. You can. At best, I think that what oh gosh, I can't remember his name. I never remember it. But the guy from Squid Game, I think that he by and far is the best part of the show. That he's
Soul?
always giving it Soul. Yeah, he's giving his I was trying to think of the actor's name though, but he gives it his all in every scene. You can tell that he's always trying. Like not that the others aren't necessarily trying, but like his effort, his uh determination, his commitment is shines through in every scene he's in. I think is probably the best you could say as far as the writing goes. Or I mean, I guess that's acting, but I mean, if you were gonna performances, if you're gonna show a clip, probably something from him.
And that says something about him as an actor, though. I mean, there are lots of people out there that will give their best, no matter what the film is. You got to give credit to Alec Guinness for doing the best he could with the old Jedi Master stuff, especially walking into it being a classically trained actor, and this being a space opera of the highest order, if you will,
Mhm.
and giving gravitas to a character that could have been a throwaway had anybody else taken it less seriously. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's good actors will often bring a certain level of quality to any given production. Warren, did
Mm.
you happen to see it?
Not episode 3, but because I need to watch it today. I would say the show is okay. It's not the greatest. It's not, but the I think the thing is that this I just think that some Disney writers don't know how to make a good female character story. It seems. I think the last good story to me was um, Black Widow. I just don't know what it is. I don't know why they can't do it, but for some reason they cannot produce a female led antagonist or protagonist in a series, regardless if it's Star Wars or not. So I think that's their biggest problem. Um, but I like the scenery. I will say that. I do like the fact that we're getting more lore wise behind the Jedi, because a lot of people have this perception that the Jedi just have no flaws to them, and this is kind of seeing it from a different perspective. But I mean,
I I have to disagree. I think that they're treading the same ground as Empire Strikes Back as far as the Jedi philosophy and such. Um,
no, if you
the
look at, I have to disagree, because if you look at the even like the way the whole, because the whole purpose, right, is that the Jedi are not, there's no bad to them. They can't be, they can't have any flaws, but yet they didn't know about the sister staying alive, and the way they go about how.
that's that's contrived though. I mean, why would they? I mean,
What do
it
you mean? Why
doesn't.
would they? Their whole purpose is to protect, and
No,
and
no,
to,
no, no. I mean, I just mean that like I don't find the sequence of events believable. I mean, you
but
say it
We only
happens and it
have a glimpse
happens.
into the sequence of events. And
True.
Warren, you're going to see with episode 3, they kind of show you that maybe the Jedi aren't there to protect. But we still don't get the full story. Like, one of my problems with
exactly.
it is the way that they're telling the
But
story. They're kind of going that Ryan Johnson route where they're going to show the same incident from a few different points of view. I don't know if this is the best
maybe.
format for that, like a single show. It's definitely leading people to speculate week to week. So it's getting interest, but I don't know if it's for the right reasons.
Right, and I'm saying, like, the whole, like, if we were to go back Star Wars lore, there's plenty of people that, like, for instance, Revan, he started out as a Sith, but then ended up as a Jedi. The whole point is that, and even Ahsoka, right? They didn't, like, if you look at Ahsoka, this is her story, just 2.0, because remember, she got accused, and they didn't want to believe her. So, like, this is not the first time we've seen Jedi just, oh man, you're the bad guy, just because we see something they don't like. actually investigate. The Jedi aren't
Yeah, but those are all Disney examples. Those are
But
all,
they-
and that my
but
my opinion is that Disney does not know how to write complexity in a interesting way. I think that they just want to make the Jedi the bad guys,
But
right?
do
And
they know how
I-
to spend money? Because apparently there's an outrageous
Oh, they know
price
it all
tag for
too
this
well.
show,
Yeah.
and some people are complaining that it looks like it was shot at Galaxy's Edge.
Kinda, but they built their own Galaxy's Edge for this. They didn't go to the real
Yeah.
one, not the public one. This is private.
yeah,
A
I think
private galaxy far, far away.
yeah.
But yeah, I should. I don't have a right to hold an opinion. I haven't seen it, so.
I mean,
Yeah.
the whole purpose of the Acolyte is to show that there's a reason why. I'm not saying this show's good at all. That's not what I'm saying. The whole purpose of the Acolyte is to give you the other aspect behind the
Well, to
the dark side.
yeah, to meet you halfway. I like the concepts that they're exploring. I just don't think the execution is good.
I agree on that. I can say that.
That being said, we're only at like episode 3 of 8, so
Yeah,
maybe the
I mean,
execution will be
time will
better.
tell.
We do have like an unreliable narrator thing going on here, so perhaps the story will get better the way that they're telling it. So hopefully the execution will be better. But yeah, I agree. Like the idea could be cool. I want to see the High Republic. The idea of somebody tracking down these Jedis and taking them out in a time of peace. That kind of sounds like a cool mystery. There's potential, but I'm not seeing it executed well. So.
I remember seeing the She-Hulk and thinking there is a great possibility that the ending will wrap everything up really nicely, and that she will eventually be learning a lesson, because it seemed to me that her belief that she knows everything and she's a better Hulk than Banner, and that she knows how to handle her anger, yet she was going to turn around and murder some guys for catcalling her in the street. That all of these things were leading up to a character development that would justify her particular journey into superheroism, and that just didn't happen. And so there's now a tremendous history of Disney shows leading you down a path without executing the finales or the endings of the stories well at all. You get the Secret Wars thing, or Secret Invasion, or whatever it was called, that just completely undermined all of the development of Nick Fury, and basically made him look like he was just leaning on the aliens the whole time, and had really no agency in anything that he was doing. He was just a reactionary that called on other people to do the work for him, and they just kind of made him lame. So
I'm not sure they're not going the same direction with this one.
Yeah.
I guess that was a double negatives. They happen to mention that like this should be seen as kind of Frozen meets Kill Bill. If they're going that route, I don't know. I guess if they bring in a lot of the Kill Bill, they could have some growth for the character. But if they're going Frozen, the whole kind of thing is the hang up inside your head or whatever. But you were powerful all along. So I don't know. I'm not sure that they're really going to dig into that.
Yeah, and some people are debating whether or not Darth Sidious learned how to create life from the space witches, and undermining the idea of the powerful twins and the whole prophecy thing. And let's be fair, they undermined the prophecy with the prequels, because
yes,
they at
the
first
M count, man.
the midichlorians, and we'll get to that a little bit later. It'll be hilarious. But this whole idea of the prophecy, who knows where it came from, but we have yet to see the one who's going to bring order to the galaxy, because Anakin didn't do it, Skywalker didn't do it, Luke didn't do it, and neither has Ray Palpatine. So it's definitely not these two twins either. So
Still banking on Broom Kid. You never know.
The two things that I'm worried about are for this series is that it will in some ways it already has undermined the uniqueness and specialness of Anakin, but then also it'll undermine it further by saying, Plagueis / Palpatine learned how to do this, and then made Anakin, and then so that'll be whenever you have a sequel series, especially when it's made by a different team, a different writer, to go back and say, no, my original character, my OC, is really the reason why your characters are so cool or understand this kind of concept. Much like what they did with Michael Burnham and Spock. They gave him a secret sister who really taught him how to be who he was. Which I think that's not good. Right? That's not good writing.
Do you feel the same way towards?
Real quick.
Okay.
I was just going to give the second thing, but then we can go back. If the second thing I'm worried about is whether or not they are going to say that, do the same kind of thing, but then say, Yoda, the reason why we have those lines in the original trilogy about the Force is because of the witches, that the Jedi learned about the Force from the witches, and they incorporated their ideas on the thread, whatever, and talked about like community or whatnot through the witches, and that's why we have those lines in like The Empire Strikes Back about from Yoda about like the web of like how everything's connected and such.
But that idea is not such a bad idea after all either, because even Han Solo considered it a hokey religion, the whole Jedi Order. So to have one religion take an idea from another religion and then for lack of a better word, bastardize it and turn it into something different is something that is was seen in reality too. You can't have Catholicism without Judaism to begin with. So,
right. Sure.
To have that happen in the story is actually, I don't think that's a flaw to have in the story. But again, we come back to the execution. Concept.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially so when you're talking about like Spock's sister. So that kind of ruins it for you. Does finding out like,
no, I don't think it ruins it.
Ruin it. Because it seems like it's the same type of thing. It's fleshing it out with a new backstory that doesn't quite fit like what they said in the previous movie, but it's kind of filling it. It's not really retconning. It's kind of filling it out.
It's not simply because it's a retcon. Retcons can work. There are retcons that I feel like are good, especially I think the further away from it being the original plan is a good metric, but it's not like a solid rule. If you leave something open and then you realize that something fits and then you work it, incorporate it in later, even though it wasn't the original plan, as long as it feels like the original plan, like from the outside, I think that's all well and good. The problem comes in is that when you have a story and it has a trajectory, and then somebody adds something on either at the beginning or the middle or something, and then it changes the trajectory or it recontextualizes the original story to be something either subtly different or completely different. Because now with Spock, right? Spock's story is that instead of his accomplishments and his own determination being his own, he's inherited it from another character. He's no longer his own. He's now instead of him being his own master, essentially, he's now an apprentice of somebody else.
Couldn't you kind of do the same thing though with I am your father for Luke thing? Because now it's not the guy who Obi-Wan told him killed his father, but instead it is, he is the son of the most powerful evil wizard. So of course he's got power to battle him. I don't know. It feels like it's still kind of taking away, and it does kind of change what was said before. But I don't know. Like it
Well,
just is
they're
for me. So I don't know.
they're
I will
probably
say,
leaning into the whole idea that Obi-Wan Kenobi laid out for us in the very first movie, second, and from the second one, which is that from a certain point of view. So, all of this could be happening from a different point of view. We hadn't heard from Cole yet, so I was kind of interested to hear what the White Hoods had to say about it.
Yeah. What's the acolyte saying?
Oh, what I think of it?
oh come on, we know Cole's hates it, so like, why we ask?
Oh, well, yeah, it's bad, just like any other Star Wars show. That had good lighting. I like the setup and some ideas. Yeah, that's about it. It's just another bad Star Wars show. It isn't like the worst one they've made. It isn't the best. It's just another bad one. Forgettable.
I will
Yeah.
say, I disagree with the only part. I think Ahsoka is still probably one of the best of the series, but that's just my opinion.
Well,
I
yeah,
think,
but it's not saying much.
I mean, it's,
Why do you say that? Why do you think that Ahsoka is good? Because I haven't seen it, but I've seen a lot of coverage on it, and like
uh,
I'm just going off of the basic ideas. It doesn't seem like it was very well executed, even if you like the
um,
concept.
I
Space
like,
whales, though, man.
I liked that late Ray Stevenson's performance. He played like the Jedi, the fallen Jedi, or Gray, not Gray,
He
but
was the best part.
he was the best
Yeah,
part.
no, I have
The
heard
best
that
the
he was
best
the
part
best
of
part.
the female show is the white guy,
Yeah,
Um, I will say seeing Grand Admiral uh um
Thrawn.
Thrawn.
yeah.
Thrawn was good. Seeing it was also good, and I liked the fact that they explained the like more of the outer regions, and I think they they I well, I can tell you one thing. When I was watching, you kept asking yourself questions like, who was Marok? And like, okay, could Marok have been like this other person? Okay, a phone call when I'm about to say something.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
hold on.
had a bunch of really potentially good things in it that I don't know. I like seeing like the new world. Like once we get through the space whales, we see some stuff that we've never seen before. We see some kind of aliens that we've never seen before. I love that part. And then we get to meet a character who uses the Force slightly different than other people have. He's been like marooned on a place for a while, had a chance to train with it, but not necessarily using it for
Okay.
fighting. That's really cool. And then they quickly kind of abandoned that. So it had a bunch of potential that I wanted it to pay off. And
Yeah, and also I will say like we have a case of a Jedi raising an apprentice and having let them go their own way, because they had their own thinking. But I think Ahsoka is the best to me, but that's just, again, that's my opinion. We have to pay attention. Like, we haven't seen the full totality of
for
Acolyte.
sure.
I'm not saying that's an excuse, because I mean, we've seen plenty of shows start off good and end bad, and we've seen shows start off bad and end good. So this is only episode 3. I'm not saying that that's an excuse, but let's also realize that this is only episode 3.
Yeah,
That's
but with episode 4, you get to the halfway mark of the season, which is my big complaint about these new streaming shows, is that they are half of what the cable seasons would have been, which were 16 episodes, and that is half of what broadcast used to be, which was 32 episodes, and you would get
Yeah.
half of the season before Christmas, and then half of the season afterwards before summer, and now you just get 8 whenever, and
well. Just to interject really quickly, sorry, Rosales, because I don't normally do this. Daredevil is the only series that's going to be, what, 13, or like the double digit mark. So getting
yeah.
more to closer to what for a season. So I mean, that's something to look for in the far future. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I've ever since, and Cold knows this, I've been against this 8 episode thing. I think 8 episodes is way too short. Either get actors you don't know to save yourself money, or change the budget in tech or whatever. But I think a double digit I think 13 to 10, at least 10 episodes, in my opinion, is for a series. If you really want to trim it down much, 13 me is minimum. 16 might be too much filler, especially for Disney. But I think 10 to 13 would have been a good mark. But I think 8 is just too little because
Yeah.
there's always times when we're watching a series, a live act, and we're like, we only get like bits and pieces, and like, man, and then that one good episode, the filler, we don't get anymore because that was like the one episode. So I mean, I
Well,
think they need to
I
find a good medium.
it seems also that the episode counts are relatively arbitrary, and then we end up sometimes they have these short 8 to 10 episode series, and then they will have filler inside of that. So it's like, why do we have these things happen, or why are we having the episode count be this way when the story doesn't justify it? Or they will cram stuff in and then not explore everything that they bring up, or things that the show seems to even care about. A good example of this actually is iZombie. I don't know how many people here are familiar with that series. They started out with a short season for season 1, and then it was really popular, so they got immediately got a season 2, which they had a full season of. It was the longest season. It was a full episode count of like 20 something episodes, but they ended up having filler and it really stretched things out. And it was the least popular season. And then I think there were season 3, 4. I forget if there was a 5th season, but either way, every season after that was I think 12 to 13, maybe 14 episodes.
Yeah, speaking of filling things out, yeah. I think we filled out this acolyte topic with plenty of other shows, because with only 3 episodes, how much really can you talk about? But we should make iZombie a topic of. I think specifically iZombie a topic for a later date, because I found that show to be rather interesting, and I think there's a lot of things to cover in that specifically. With the way they held the way they covered zombies and the way they did things like that. But I think probably the best thing we should do right now, though, is go back and spin the wheel. What do you think?
Sounds
great. Sounds great to me.
Let's do it.
Promo time.
Come on.
Promo time.
What the heck?
Make it.
I don't know what that means. Just kind of froze for me. There we go.
Jeez,
there we go.
This website. It's a little bit glitchy today. But yeah, House of the Dragon. Come on. There you go. Let's have a look at the trailer for House of the Dragon real quick while we're at it.
Errors were made in the hours following King Viserys' death.
The war be fought. Many will die. And the victor will eventually ascend the throne.
There is no war so hateful to the gods. It's a war between kin. And no war so bloody as a war between dragons.
Okay.
Well,
Banger.
that was fire.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh,
I don't know. That has me kind of hyped for it. I'm excited for it. I
Yeah.
forgot a lot of the events. It's been a
Yeah.
while since the first season.
well,
That's nice. It's the
Kitty is
episode.
actually diagramming the House of the Dragon, at least episode 1 so far. And she's not with us today because she's out with people, but she told me to remember her by playing some music. So let's do this real quick and remember Kitty.
Who is at the door? Who is at the door? Is it chicken or something more? Got to answer the door. Got to answer the door. Who rang the doorbell?
Kitty forever answering the door whenever she's on stream. So
Indeed. She
But
will
yeah.
be missed.
House of the Dragon. I started it. The first season, I watched the first few episodes, but then I switched from Max to something else because I was going to follow a different show. So I did not get to finish any of it. But are you guys hyped for this new show?
Oh, I am. They're actually using source material, not Whimsy Lou. I think out of my mind. I mean, if you've read the books, you know what's coming, which that's I guess a good thing or a bad thing depending. But
Well, family on family action, I think, is not a good thing. But yeah, that's sticking to the source.
I would say that I like. I think what we're gonna get out of House of the Dragon is I think first of all, House of the Dragon is to make up for how Game of Thrones after season 5 basically ended, and I think that's why they're taking so much time because it was quite a delay, right? It's like almost a year and a half before we got another. That's why they're doing all these other I think Duncan and Egg and other series to compensate because they really want to take their time. And I think they're only doing like 11 or 12 episodes, another short stint. But to keep going, yeah, I think House of Dragon is gonna is 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 what's that term? Lightning in a bottle. I mean, the actors are all great in my opinion. The storytelling is very good, and you get to see the real dynamic behind it. Me personally, though, my only gripe is I wish that they didn't do House of the Dragon, to be quite honest. I wish they went backwards and did like Robert's Rebellion and then go back and do something before that and then work their way backwards, kind of like because House of the Dragon just seems so far back. Whereas if they did like say Robert's Rebellion, where that's how Robert Baratheon gets on the throne, we would see the whole thing how Jon Snow got created and all this stuff, and it would still be fresh in people's minds. Whereas House of the Dragon, you can't. A lot of people related to these characters, back from the Game of Thrones. People were like, "Oh, I'm a Robb Stark fan. I'm a Jaime Lannister fan." You know what I mean? So, and you can't really. You're like, I'm not a Rhaenyra Targaryen fan. Like, you get what I'm saying? So that's my only gripe.
I hear what you're saying, and you're right. Like the actors in this are amazing, and like they are kind of sticking to the source material. That could have been said for the start of Game of Thrones too, though, and then it had a steep drop off towards the end. But I think that could be another reason why they're not going to go in with Robert's Rebellion, because they had another one in production, but I don't know. It kind of left a bad taste in people's mouths, just the way that they kind of really missed the ending on that one. They did not stick the landing. But
well,
I agree.
Hard.
I echo everything else that you're saying on this. Great actors.
It is very, very hard to stick the landing on if you're adapting a book that isn't finished. And I don't think he still hasn't finished it yet. So, however they went about doing it, I think they were stuck with the basic Hollywood tropes, being the
just seemed like they wanted out of there. Because they had the whole like Star Wars deal where they were going to get their own trilogy there. It just seemed like they wanted out, so they just like wrapped everything up as quick as it could be.
Yeah.
Even if you're gonna go off the source material, like there has to be a way that you can write like the Hound versus the Mountain that's gonna be decent. There's a way that you could do like the Night King without making it like I don't know. To me, it just doesn't work. It's essentially like the same move from The Last Jedi. It's like, why did you just make her do that? Like, okay, fine. So I don't know. I just have to think that there's something better in there.
I mean, I agree and I understand what you're saying about the like the how they ended it. But again, like what I'm saying is what we just said was source material, right? Robert's Rebellion is yes, people, the thing is, when actors, like, Game of Thrones went on for about, what was it, 10 years, or I think, because they took a little break. So these actors are still fresh. These names are still fresh. We can't really relate to Aemon Targaryen, and we can't really relate to Rhaenyra or Otto Hightower. Like, these are the characters. I'm naming. You can't, like, you're gonna have to build up a whole new, and I get that. Whereas if someone heard Robert Baratheon, like, you'd be okay. I remember this guy from season one, or oh, Tywin Lannister. I remembered him from the first Game of Thrones. So I think if they kept it fresh in the minds of people, that'd be great. Because, and also, the source material for Robert's Rebellion is plentiful. Like, there's so many things happening at the same time, and would give Westeros, some history to it. But I will say that House of the Dragon is probably a good makeup for how this Game of Thrones ended. And I hope that, like, I hope the season premiere tonight is really good, because I'm a big fan. I didn't like the last three seasons, but I digress because whatever. But let's see how it goes. That's my
Well, if you don't go as far back as they did, you run the risk of people getting tired of the same characters and the same names, and in the same way that people have, that The Walking Dead has kind of run its course. You know, Oversaturation of a specific era in TV. You kind of like Suits has gone for 10 years, and you're kind of like, yeah. How many lawsuits can you really get into? So for them to reach so far back is a way of trying to reach a new, dig a new well so that they can have a fresh spring to it. Fox, what do you think?
Well, I'm reminded of something that George R. R. Martin posted recently, and he was expressing how important source material is, and how when people put their own spin on it, it's 99% of the time it's worse, and he was going on and on about this, and he tends to write about whatever's on his mind. So it could be that he was finally looking at everybody's complaints about source material and such, but it seems to be more likely that he was bumping heads with some producer or something, or maybe an actor or director, in a production that he was involved with. And he was like, no, that's not the way it's written. That's not the way the story is supposed to go. And they said, no, but we want to put our own spin on it. So this is complete conjecture and has no, I'm just noticing two things together and wondering if they're connected. So there, but it makes me at least worried. Now, as I just got finished saying, this is conjecture, so take that with a grain of salt. But I guess that's what I have to contribute to this conversation, since it's not out yet, other than to say that I do hope that I'm wrong, and do hope that it is a good production.
Damn, I guess I hadn't kind of put two and two together that he might be referring to this production. Huh. Okay, you just kind of blew my mind there. I hope that's not the case. I was really hoping for good things for this season.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping I'm wrong too.
Yeah, well, House of the Dragon does premiere tonight on Max and on HBO. So if you have a chance to see it, maybe we'll recap it next week. We'll see what's going on. But what do you say we move
The
this show a
wheel.
little, move on to the wheel?
Yay. Promo time. We got this.
Come on, come on, come on. Let's do this. There we go.
Hey, there we go.
I think it's Fat Jedi or New
I
DVD.
think it's Fat Jedi. Oh, make it
Make it a
me.
meme. Make it meme.
All right.
Meme. So, yeah. So let's do that then. Come on. Come on. Let's do that. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to have to set this up for a little bit. So, where am I at? Where am I at? Gosh darn it. I lost where I was. Let's listen to Warren's music real quick while I set this up.
Nice.
Throwing that out there. Well, while we have our little intermission, yeah, I think maybe Disney should. And I was thinking about this, saying this with a friend. I think maybe there's certain shows that Disney should do, and they should just stay away from shows like Star Wars has been the one that they can't seem out. And I didn't watch Andor, by the way, Gray. Star Wars is the one that they're not hitting lightning in a bottle with that show. Like, I don't know. Maybe they just should just get away from there. So.
Okay, I put the link
Money,
in the private chat.
All right.
So let me know if you've got it.
I may have to leave and come back. There's something going wrong with my computer.
Oh, well, we'll have you back whenever you're ready. And hopefully we got enough players. Hey, there's Warren. Baby Warren at that. Great. Are you going to be able to? There you are. There you are. So let's should we put this out there to the comments as well and let them join in? Warren?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had myself muted. I was also saying, yeah, sure, if they want to.
Let me see. Okay. There was a message there that I needed to look at real quick. All right. Let me put that in the comments. So if you want to join in, you are free to while we're getting ready to have oh no, it started already. My goodness. I didn't expect that. Okay. So I guess we're going to start.
Yeah.
Did it on its own there.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll see who can join in at the next lobby. Is there repetitive music coming through from the website?
Yes, very repetitive music. It works. Yeah.
Let's see. I'll do that. It's going to be a short game, I think.
I think so. I think Cole would have been the master here.
Mm-hmm. I'll give that one a Meme Buddy. See, I would have put when you can only get work with Disney.
I think that's the way it needs to be.
Look at here. Gray, you're in the lead with what?
How the hell am I in the lead?
Look at that.
That makes no sense. No way.
Oh, we got another round in us. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. $18 seconds. Walter says, I think Cole left to get in line early to see The Kind of Kindness next Friday. I mean, that's possible. Yeah, that could be possible there. Vote the meme. Are you two friends? Double the fun? Yes? No? Yes? Yeah. 2 seconds? 1 second?
Some of these I have no idea what I don't think they were.
I don't know. I don't know. Here we go. I'll do that. You know that's a topic on the wheel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems topical.
Yes. Very, very topical. 1 second.
Not for internal consumption.
True.
Gray, you're still in the lead. How awesome is
shouldn't
that?
be.
How awesome is that? You are the meme guy. This thing started without
Cole's not here.
I had my head turned, and this whole thing started there, Fox. I didn't know it was going to go as I was doing other things here.
We already established you got that itchy trigger finger.
Oh, that wasn't his fault, though. Remember, it was the reverse order. Well, I mean, it wasn't his fault this morning. It was his fault last night.
Good God, 1 minute and 2 seconds.
I have no idea.
In honor of Bob. Fox, did I ever play you the theme song that I got for you?
Oh no, I have not. I love it. It's good.
1 second left. Grey Poupée, in honor of your leading, we got your theme song going.
Well, thank you. It's only because Fox, Drew, and Cole aren't playing. If so, I think they'd have me beat.
Game ends in... Oh, game over. Look at that. You are in the lead. And these are all the memes that we had. And, yes, they were spectacular memes. Okay. That was Make It Meme. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, when it was time to do that, my... What is it?
Oh, stop it. My goodness. Hang on 1 second.
But...
Hang on 1 second. Let me do this real quick. We'll get right back to you in just a second. I forgot to play that right before we did that, so that's the new game time that you were saying, sir.
Yeah, my screen went black, like just completely black. And
that's not conducive for memeing.
It is not.
Usually you never go back. So I'm glad you were able to recover.
I did have to do a reboot, so that's why it took me a minute.
We're glad to have you back. Glad to have you back. And yeah, I don't think that was as exciting as it could have been. But maybe we'll try it again some other time.
Yeah, it seems like a decent game.
Yeah, it could be fun on occasion. Oh, Clash at the Castle results, I think.
Oh, no.
Movie releases.
I was still hoping for promo time, but okay. Movie.
We're getting close. It's going to be promo heavy at the end, I think. So let's find out. What's that?
Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. Roll them trailers, Joe. But that's popcorn popping with a fizzy soda splash.
Yes, we've got a lot of new things coming out this past Friday that came out in limited release. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can't say I've ever heard of Scab Vendor, but
it's a documentary, I believe. Born with the Silver Spoon, Jonathan Shaw chose at the height of his career as a tattoo artist to give up on his celebrity lifestyle in order to escape from his own vicious cycle. Okay. Yeah, if you have an opportunity to see that, it won't be out long. So
yeah, I mean, it sounds cool. I'm sure I'll check it out, but wow, I had never even heard of a Scab Vendor, but intriguing.
The Relentless Patriot is also out this week. An American artist and activist, Scott Libidos, Barbados. 30-year career promoting patriotism through arts is chronicled, detailing challenges faced in his mission to unite Americans via work and advocacy.
He
Interesting.
only gets second billing in that. Rudy Giuliani goes before him.
Yeah. Well, I guess we know who foot the bill.
Yeah.
Latency is also out. When Hannah, a professional gamer who suffers from acute agoraphobia, we talked about that in private, receives new equipment that enhances her game. She begins to wonder if it's reading her mind or controlling it. Ooh. I guess that is a look of concern on her face there.
You know what's
It sounds kind of cool.
weird,
It's
though?
intriguing.
I have no doubt that the acute agoraphobia plays a role in the plot and the reason for the inciting incident, but it doesn't seem to have much relevance on, like, it has relevance on the setup, but it doesn't seem to have much relevance on the rest of the plot beyond that beginning rule. So I wonder why it's included in the summary.
Who knows? I guess we'll have to go to the theaters and find out.
Prevents her from going out.
Hell
to get
no! Watching this together.
Isn't it this? Yeah.
But there's a blonde in it and technology.
She's not even that good looking.
She's what the kids say is mid, I think is the terminology.
She's very mid. You're right.
She's high mid. But this one looks fun. Treasure.
Yes, an American journalist, Ruth, who I can safely say is not mid, travels to Poland with her father, Edek, to visit his childhood places. But Edek, a Holocaust survivor, resists reliving his trauma and sabotages the trip, creating unintentionally funny situations.
Okay, you know what this reminds me of? Like, I mean, it's totally different, but it's the same, like, I don't know, genre or something, is Weatherman. And that this is giving me Weatherman vibes. In the sense that it is like, what is it? Skirting the line between comedy and tragedy.
Yeah. But definitely she's not mid.
She's definitely
comedy, but tragedy plus time.
I don't know about mid. She's definitely gutter. I'll tell you that much.
But not mid. Not mid.
Ohio.
That's my point. Oh my goodness. Haven't heard that since I listened to my son. Speaking of which, Tuesday, a mother and her teenage daughter must confront death when it arrives in the form of an astonishing talking bird. So a little bird told me what's going to happen Tuesday. You're going to die. I think is the story here.
We need to stop.
Better have Gilbert Gottfried's voice. I want Iago being on a killing spree.
Yes. Yeah.
You want the good news or the bad news? I amuse myself.
But it's got, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, so I mean, I imagine her performance will be compelling.
Probably going to be better than the Pop-Tart movie.
Yeah. But we are still out of mid territory, so. Firebrand is also out this week. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out, and it's not even.
I've heard a lot of stuff about this. I think I saw something on like a show that was talking about this.
Pray tell, what did this other show that other people are watching say?
Well, sadly, it was The View that was showing this when I and I was at the gym, and so someone had it, the many TVs, and I was like looking at it, but yeah, that's as much as I can say. But
yeah,
I think a lot of people go to the gym to watch The View.
Did they happen to mention if this show is beyond mid? Is Firebrand,
Well, Catherine Parr, the
I know
sixth
Jude
wife
Law
of,
is in it, so that's about it.
So yeah, it's above mid. Okay.
yeah,
Good.
at least when it comes to the
Hmm.
men, the sixth wife of King Henry the five, six, seven. I think it's funnier if I have to count.
8.
Is the name Regent White, wife of the tyrant battles of? I don't care. What else we got? Inside Out is also out this week. So yeah,
Inside Out too, yeah.
You-
Supposedly, I've heard that, and obviously I haven't seen it, but supposedly this one plays it real safe.
yeah. Some of the headlines, are like, it's trying hard not to do worse than the first. And but the first did pretty well. So you're right in saying that that it's not going as far as some of the other um, Pixar animations have gone out to make statements, prove points, be different, think outside of the box. Um, and
It might not be going hard in that direction, but at the box office, it went pretty damn hard. Apparently, it's like 62 million for Friday alone. So
well, there we go. So yeah,
Good
it's
on
doing
them.
pretty good on them to play it safe because safe. When you play it safe, you make money, and so that's what's at the movies, guys. I'm not doing that intro again to lock it out.
Mhm.
If you are clipping, uh, best of luck finding the end of this segment. So here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to do this. Boom. Here we go.
Fat Jedi, let's go.
Come on. I can't believe this is working so horribly.
Gotta be promo time.
Holy smokes. Finally, promo time. That's right. My Frankenstein was released a year or two ago. However, the graphic novel is now available. It's still available for sale. And
In Gothic tales, they say beware, and I'm so had scare. Is this please care? My Frankenstein, my heart, my flame, will tell through storms, whisper our names.
My Frankenstein, available at RosalisComics.com for a signed copy of it. You can get a non-signed copy of it, I believe, on Amazon.com. And if you want the digital version, you can go to Global Comics and search up Rosalis Comics and find all of our digital titles available there. Promo.
Nice.
Son of a gun.
More promo time.
More promo time. That's right. We have a tradition at Rosales Comics of digging up the classic public domain comic books, cleaning them up, refurbishing them, and bringing them to you absolutely free in digital form. We did The Avenger last year. This year, we are doing Dynamo from Tower Comics.
Dynamo, flying high again. Rosalis Comics brings the legend to your hands. Upscaled and shining, the digital delight. Dynamo returns our hero in the light. Dynamo, the power's in your hands. Rosalis Comics revives the hero of the land. Bold and brilliant through the pages soar. Dynamo returns the legend to explore.
Relive the original series of Dynamo, one of the greatest Thunder Agents. Comic books put out originally by Tower Comics, digitally remastered and restored and brought to pristine colors as intended, hopefully, as the original artist intended to have, and available for free bi-weekly at Global Comics from Rosales Comics.
That's so awesome, man. And then that song, too. That's possibly the promotion that it never got back in the day. That's really awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Ooh, Alien Romulans. Let's
Is this the one? Oh, yeah, we'll see.
Oh yeah, I'm going to start this trailer. However, I will go dark for a moment, and so you guys can share your opinions about the Alien Romulus, and I'll be back momentarily.
Is this really where you want to spend the rest of your life?
You know I don't.
Then this is our only ticket out of here.
What's happening?
There's something in the water.
What do you mean there's something in the
I don't
water?
know, there's just something in the fucking water. Fucking thing's hunting us.
Open the door, come on.
Run.
Are you sure you want to do this?
All right, that actually has me
Well,
excited. I'm a huge fan of the franchise, and like the weird ones that they really started going off on with starting with like AVP. I don't know. It had me feeling strange about this, but this is giving me kind of the classic vibes of the series. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm kind of way more
That's-
excited about it than I thought I would be.
That's true. However, I mean, I'm sure the movie will give more. Well, obviously, there's more of it, and it'll give it more context. But that trailer is so extensive. I feel like I've seen the movie.
Yeah, I'm intrigued enough. I'm not sure exactly what the thing
I don't
is. So
know, man.
I don't know exactly what the
trailer.
plot is yet.
Yeah.
Well, no, it just feels spoilerific. I feel like, okay, like you see that trailer and you're like, okay, I've seen basically probably every scene, at least a little bit of the movie.
But that's all
And
trailers.
it's like, no, that's why. Well, not all trailers, but most trailers are bad. What is that? The difference between like the House of the Dragon, trailer, where you could say maybe even it's just as spoilery, but the point of that series is kind of, it's not spectacle. I mean, it does have spectacle in it, definitely. But the point of the series is the politics, is the drama of the characters. So even if you see a clip or, like a moment of a scene, you don't like what's happening in the scene is the exciting part, is the important part, is the reason why you go see it, or why you watch it. Whereas
Walter has a point.
so much
like
so much of the genre of horror is the surprise, is not knowing. So once you know,
That's kind of the
right?
debate about the trailers and horror, because like you kind of have to. So it's not necessarily like all horror is M. Night Shyamalan, but sometimes you have to set it up, and it's like, well, okay, I feel like I know how this is going to go. Like, okay, they're on a spaceship, there's an alien, so they're confined space. Okay, it's going to be kind of scary, twist behind each corner, and then things are going to pop out. But this looks like they're kind of doing it better way than like AVP.
Well, sure, but I mean, I do like the fact that it does seem to be a return to form for Alien. It does seem to be getting back to its roots rather than being an action series or having weird retcon lore, which I don't think was like the prequels movies. I don't think were good additions. Again, it's that idea of like the mystery, especially for a series like Alien, mystery of the origins actually works in its favor. So fleshing out
So much better.
Yeah,
Prometheus worked for some, but yeah, I don't know. I wanted more out of it.
I think what's happening is
we also got.
Sorry,
Results. Didn't mean to speak over you.
That's okay. I was just going to say that a lot of the originally for Hulu projects are turning out a little better than anybody expected. This was originally.
Is this going to theater or is it directly to Hulu?
It is going to theater, and I think the Predator movie did a lot better than everybody expected it to be. So,
oh yeah, Prey.
As long as they continue to do what they're doing, which is do their best to adapt, the works, I think they should be fine. I think it might make them a little bit of money. So, and everybody needs money these days.
This is true.
Did I kill this conversation?
No, I don't think you did. I think that we have to, again, this is the final trailer. I don't think it spoiled too much. I mean, like there's going to be death, there's going to be people dying, and that's just that's my opinion. That's what I'm saying. But I think that I'm not a fan of the Alien franchise. I'm more of the original. The Prometheus wasn't, the prequels didn't really. And I'm trying to figure out where does Romulus take place, because
it takes place on the original colony, LV blah blah blah.
Because they never finished Prometheus. They never finished I don't think they finished Prometheus, that whole trilogy. So I think
the whole Prometheus thing was trying to take it in a totally different direction because he did not want to lose control over the franchise. There was a sequel to Alien that was going to be greenlit, and it just needed his approval. And he saw what they were doing with it and decided that he was going to do his own thing with it. And so he axed the Sigourney Weaver was going to come back, and they were going to ignore several of the sequels and pick up sometime after Aliens, the second one, and go in a totally different direction. And I don't think they were coming to Earth at all. But they were doing things, and I don't know if it was, everybody was behind it. Sigourney was on board with it, and there was a lot of people on board with it. Everybody was happy with it. And Scott said, "It's my toy." And then when he started doing Prometheus, which were supposed to be prequels, he started veering in a different direction and didn't give us the xenomorph that we expected to get, and started doing something that was going to take it in a totally different direction. So this, to me, seems like a return to form of what the original story was doing. It's going back to the original colony that was destroyed, that they went to take a look at in Alien. So it takes place between the first Alien movie and Aliens, the second movie. And it shows exactly what happened and why the Space Marines were called out. Walter says Prometheus should have been its own thing, not connected to Alien. I feel the fact that they forced the Alien lore is what ruined both it and the Alien lore. And
Yeah.
my wife says,
Good
I
point.
think the lady who played the lead in Covenant was great.
Yeah, it's not really on the actors. It's just kind of, I don't know.
Agreed.
It felt off to me.
But-
It just didn't seem like it was the best execution. But I like a lot of the actors that were in that and Prometheus as well.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, so if you wanted to have an I'm not sure exactly how you would do it. Maybe through titling, maybe through marketing, to set it up differently. But you could have a different genre using the alien lore, rather than it being horror. You could make a proper action film of it, but I feel like the attempts that they do with these, with Alien 3, I think was a poor translation. We had Alien and Aliens being, horror, suspense horror, and then Alien 3 was more of an action film. And then that seems to be like a reaction from the studios kind of observing what people liked about the films is Sigourney Weaver being badass, so that they were like, okay, well, we'll just lean into that. But I feel like having it be part of the same mainline series is a mistake. Have it be clearly signify that it is an offshoot, that and then you won't have the same reactions. I think that and then you treat it differently. A story is kind of whatever a story is, but at the same time, I feel like there are optimal rules. They're not like hard and fast absolute rules, but if you want to get everyone on board, I don't know if that makes any sense, but
well, I don't.
That's kind of how I feel.
I think the fact that they are leaning a little into the horror is calling back to the original Alien movie, which was a horror movie in space. The tagline was "In space, no one can hear you scream," and I think they're going to try to out-gore anything else that has been out lately. So they're going to lean into that, and the chest burst situation. And you saw the one sequence in the trailer where she's shining a light through her back to see the inside of herself,
which looks pretty cool.
Yes.
I don't know. They're kind of known for the body horror thing. Like the chest burster is classic, and that is, first movie. So yeah, it's awesome.
Burst. Sorry.
Yeah, I love so
sorry.
That's fine. So yeah, they're a lot of the reason that Alien felt so claustrophobic was because there was limited budget, and they were limited to what they could do on set with the practical costume effect and the limited mobility it had. So a lot of it had to be insinuated, which in filmmaking terms, if it's happening in the mind of the viewer, it's far more graphic and intense than anything you can put on the screen. One example of that is that in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, everybody swears they see him pick the girl up and put her on the hook, and it's a quick cut between two separate scenes. You never actually see the hook go into her back, but people swear that they see that because of the way they shot it, and it's what their mind put into them, what they see.
It's very similar with Reservoir Dogs too, the kind of ear scene. Everyone thinks it's a little bit more violent than it is.
Mm-hmm. The only movie where everyone accepts male birthing.
It was ahead of its time. Very progressive.
Yes, very, very progressive. So, and predicting the future is what it was doing. So, there's that. I killed it again, didn't I? Yes, I killed the conversation one more time.
No, it's just hard to top Walter, man.
It is.
He's got it.
Walter's sending us to the wheel is what he's doing. I had to refresh this so it looks a little bit different. What am I missing here? We did the lightning round. We got new to DVDs. Should I put Bad Boys on there, or save it for next week?
Next week.
Next week.
I mean, the boys, not Bad Boys, but the boys.
Yeah, the
Oh,
boys.
well, have you heard about like the new Bad Boys movie coming out?
We did it last week.
Yes, we did
Oh,
talk
okay.
about it
Sorry, I
last
missed
week.
that.
Yeah,
Right.
slapped us in the face. It did. I thought Covenant lacked suspense because it showed the creature in full too often. It looked great, but there was nothing to imagine as such. Yeah, see, exactly my point there. All right, we'll save the boys season 4 for next week. I forgot to ask if we were done.
Well, it sounds like we're done because it's promo time.
It is promo time. And the last promo is for Stunning Adventures, the brand new comic book series coming out this July, on July 24th, Wednesday, exclusively digitally at Global Comics. Join Rosales Comics in their brand new comic book series anthology, which calls back to the original anthology series that would introduce multiple characters and multiple storylines. In this 6-part issue series, we join our characters before they form a superhero team and get to know them as they fight crime in their own unique ways.
Sweet, sweet candy and name nice. 色とりどり世界Shiny まばゆい Sugar drop Baby 回る風僕らの甘いタイムストーン
Get to know close to 20 brand new characters in this 6-issue limited series released bi-monthly by Rosales Comics, digitally exclusive on Global Comics. That was promo time. I find it funny that Fat Jedi is coming up in last place. Seems fitting. Hey, Biggerford, good to see you, guy. Glad you were able to join us. Anybody got any questions about the new Stunning Adventures? No? Okay.
No, I just can't wait to see
Are
it.
they also brave?
No, not really.
Yeah. Yes, to everything.
Physical media, yes.
Physical media, new to DVD. So let's. I got something for that. It's kind of an earwig, so get ready.
What's new on DVD? What's new on DVD? What's new? What's new? What's new on DVD? What's new on DVD?
Earlier this week, I got a notice from Movies Anywhere about an update to their licensing agreement, in which they agree that they may be in their sole discretion, without notice or liability, restrict, suspend, or terminate access to all of the movies that I've purchased through them. And they may restrict and suspend access to Movies Anywhere for cause upon reasonable notice to you. And they go on and explain the reasonable notice is when the police suspect you of pirating movies online and so forth like that. And they also say that in addition, you understand that Movies Anywhere can modify or cease providing all or a portion of the movie service anywhere at any time without notice. And that I agree that Movies Anywhere will not be liable to any third party for any such restriction or termination or access of your account. Now, there is a way of opting out, guys. There is a way of opting out. You just basically have to cancel your subscription and stop using their service, which means you lose access to everything anyway. So use it, don't use it. There's a possibility you could lose it. On termination of your Movies Anywhere account, you will immediately lose the right to access streamed content through the Movies Anywhere service, and within a limited period, will lose the right to the Movies Anywhere eligible downloaded within the Movies Anywhere service. So, basically, they wouldn't do this unless they had cause to do so, which means that they might be, their business might be slowing down too. You were going to say, Fox?
two things. One, I've always treated, because I've always worried about this. Always. Even when this kind of stuff first came out, I was like, they could just take it. You could lose it. Just because I remember like the early internet. I remember using internet, before 1995 even. And how stuff would disappear. And they say the internet is forever, but only theoretically, not practically. And so when they started selling stuff digitally, I remember thinking to myself that people are going to be in for a rude awakening. And then sure enough, iTunes, I think, was the first service to pull stuff from people's libraries.
Yes,
So,
and that they lost their licensing agreement to work with the suppliers of those films, which meant that they had to stop serving those films to the people, and that means that the people that made their purchases, they could no longer access it through that particular thing, or find another way. They would have to repurchase it, if you will,
yeah,
from another service, which means paying twice or double or triple,
yeah,
depending on how what
So-
lives and what dies.
right. So I've always treated these kinds of digital purchasing of movies and such as extended rentals. That's how we always mentally treated it. However, as far as the law goes, they can't legally stop you. I mean, they can try, right? But they can't legally stop you from making your own backup if you've purchased it.
If you've purchased the DVD,
by law, you are entitled to a backup.
yes, and that's why we do this segment called "What's New on DVD," so that we can see what's on DVD, and hopefully encourage people to make their own backups because of situations just like this. And out this week on DVD is Bad Behavior.
What is that one about?
Who
Does
knows?
anyone know?
But that's what's new on DVD.
What's new on DVD? What's new on DVD?
All right.
Is that really just that one?
Just that one?
Wow.
I was just as dismayed as you were just now when I found out that that's it. It looks like it has somebody in it. Somebody who used to be famous and is now doing
like
indie
that.
films. It looks like it won an award or two or got nominated at a festival. If Cole was able to stick around, sadly he couldn't continue on. But if he was able to, he might be able to tell us about this film here and what the Lightbox says about it and whatnot. So, but yeah, that's what's out. And if it's on your radar, please go out and purchase your DVD and make your backup, because it won't be available forever because server space is at a premium these days. So, you guys, Gray, you got anything to add about this? Awesome, Warren. Awesome.
Sorry.
No,
Todd's
I-
freaking out like 30 seconds before you asked me that.
No, I've
I
never
apologize.
seen this or anything, so I got nothing for you. I was busy ordering my food. I'm sorry about that.
And I was wrangling the wild animals. But yeah, I agree with everything that Foxtree was saying about the physical media and you. I was not as smart as Andrew. I didn't treat it like an extended rental, and I thought like a lifetime membership and access to this, I can download it whenever. So I got a lifetime membership to like a content so that it gives you like audio visual elements that you can add to like videos. Well, it turns out it's not my lifetime, it was the dude's lifetime, and he happened to die like 2 years later and with no warning, which to them is ample warning. They just shut down the website and all access to everything. Where if they just mentioned like that's the one. If they happen to mention
as well.
Yeah, screw those guys. It sucks that dude died, but I wouldn't mind, leaving him something on his grave. It just sucks that they didn't give like any sort of warning or anything like that. But it makes sense in a way, in a business way.
Yeah,
there would have been such a rush on downloading everything.
Right.
yeah.
They
And
could
what-
have said something like, "We're going to keep it open for a week or something, or a month," and then
Yeah, that would have been great.
Shut it down.
No, they just the family decided to just liquidate everything. So they liquidated all of his assets, and which are our assets, and we've lost access to it. I mean, you can probably find the stuff somewhere.
Yeah, they weren't the greatest, and they weren't being updated like that regularly. But it's like,
No.
I
But
had
they did
access, so I
limit-
only downloaded a little bit of it.
They limited how much you could download at any given time anyway, so you couldn't go through.
Yeah, and that was the other
and
part too.
Collect the libraries, no matter which library you purchased. So I got what I could when I did. I mean, everything I use, like this particular background specifically, is from Digital Juice. I downloaded it when I was going to use it, and I tried to keep a physical copy of everything so that I could go back and re-edit different files and things like that. But I didn't download everything
That's
I had
so
access
smart.
to.
Yeah.
So
I was even dumber than that. I would delete it as I went because it's like, I've got lifetime access to this, and my hard drive's kind of small. So
Yeah.
let me free up some space. I was really dumb.
we got burned. I forgot to show this screenshot earlier with Stunning Adventures. The first volume is releasing on the 24th of July. The second issue is releasing on the 25th of September. And the final issue for the year will be released on November 20th. So the first three are happening this year. The next three are happening next year. And hopefully everybody gets to know these characters.
We'll do. We'll get to know them.
Yeah. And fall in love with them, and people can debate them the way we debate other people's characters as well. So, but that's what's happening on DVD, and why we should care about physical media. And they're getting rid of that as well, so it's gonna be harder to get a hold of and back up your purchases. So, it's going to get interesting.
Let's go Fat Jedi.
Fat Jedi before, and close the show with the Clash at the Castle. That sounds like a plan. Unfortunately, the wheel has other ideas.
Wow. Okay.
Not over to that. Jedi says something.
I'm still going to spin this later, by the way. We got a choice, guys. I got a slideshow to recap the Clash of the Castle, but I also have a recap video. So which way do you want to go? We've got three guest panelists here, so that means it's not going to be a tie. Warren, what do you say? Is it going to be the recap video or the slides?
I'm going to go with the recap video.
Okay. Fox?
Recap video.
Recap video. And Gray?
I love to be a contrarian, but let's go video.
Let's go video. Okay, let's watch this recap video of what happened at Clash at the Castle.
Styles now. Did you see the pay-per-view live from Scotland? The Clash at the Castle from WWE. The fans didn't go home happy. Cody Rhodes in an I Quit match. AJ Styles quit the match. Women's tag team didn't flow. New tag team champs had the glow. Intercontinental Sami Zayn retains. Chad Gable lost, such a shame. Women's chance was given. Gave the loss to Piper Niven. Damian Priest kept the title here. CM Punk had to interfere. Did you see the pay-per-view? Now they call it a PLE. The Clash at the Castle from WWE.
So that's what happened.
Yep, I think the recap said it all. Okay.
That was awesome, man. I love the musical recaps. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Right
that was fun to write. By the way, it was fun to write that. I've stopped using GPT to write the lyrics. because it's
That's
just
good.
fun. It's just fun.
The female champions look like, you know, if I was to describe it, look like two castles fighting. Instead of clash at the castles, is two castles clashing.
Yes, the Piper Niven is a bit of a heavyweight. Okay, and I was telling my wife before the match that they hired her for a reason. You know, she was the youngest champion in Scotland at a certain point, introducing a specific women's title. She was the first to do this or that or whatever, and so they brought her in under the NXT UK banner. She was Viper before she was Piper, and then she apparently, I didn't see her run, so I don't know exactly what they saw in her or what they let her do. But I did know that Vince McMahon has a tendency to bring people in that he's excited about, and then saddle them with restrictions that don't allow them to do what they do. There's a lot of big guys who come in who are very, very athletic. They can do the flips and the dives and the sentons and all this other stuff, so that they impress them. But then they bring them in, and because they're big guys, they saddle them with the big guy moves. You get to do a senton on somebody because you're so heavy. You get to land on them. Oh, look, the fat guy landed on this guy. Or you get to do a boot in the face or a splash in the corner. And I was expecting Piper to do more than the fat person moves. And that's not at all how it played out. She was just doing the fat person moves, lumbering around. The real diehard fans loved it. They loved it for what it was. Yes, a good sturdy woman. That's what she was. Kind of like my favorite ale. She was stout. There was a possibility she would have actually won because she was a local, and the tag team women's champions were given to locals. Drew McIntyre has a history of losing. He's from Scotland, but any pay-per-view that happens in Scotland, he loses, whether it's a championship bout or not. And they had to keep that tradition alive, keep the streak alive. So he didn't win. It's a good thing that they took the tag team titles off of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, because Jade fell all over the place. And I don't know if you saw it, but she was tapping at a certain point. I showed that at the very end. Shayna Baszler had her in a chokehold, but she couldn't get around her because she's so tall, and she wound up pressing on her voice box there, and it was actually choking her, and she was letting her know to let off or move your elbow, and she's trying to move her arm into a safe position, because it wasn't a safe position. She was actually in danger of either being actually choked out or being hurt. So she was tapping her to do that. However, that happened on camera and in front of the referee. And anybody who's watching a match like this, when you tap, you're giving up.
Yeah.
And the referee ignored it and kept going.
Ooh.
And
I was a little confused as to what I was seeing there. If it was just like a really bad signal or if they were tapping, but
Yeah, no, it wasn't a tap in storyline mode. It wasn't a tap that was supposed to happen. But also, she's not supposed to get hurt either.
Yeah.
And Shayna did not get the signal or ignored it and just kept going, and was putting the hurt on her, which is not a good thing either. So a lot's going on in that particular match. And then she slipped when trying to jump the ropes and fell on her face, and her target had to help her up so that she could be tackled right afterwards. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I hope they sold that well, because that'd be a tough one. Let me help you up to your feet so that you can pin me.
Yeah, it was not good. And Damian Priest was trying to do a senton off the top rope and then slipped off of the rope and got his leg caught there. And then because he
that
didn't
looked pretty brutal.
Yeah, because he continued the move even though he slipped. So he curled his head under and his shoulders under and slammed his head against the apron, which, if you listen to any kind of announcer, that's the toughest part of the ring. So, yeah, he just kind of fell out and passed out for a brief moment where they all tried to figure out exactly what to do next. And from that point on, he was selling his ankle, whether it hurt or not, for real. I don't know for sure, but that could have broken his ankle. And then if he had a fracture in there because of that, all of the moves he was doing afterwards could have led to a compound fracture, which would have been absolutely gory if it happened. So I was nervous the rest of the bout just for his feet. The saying it isn't over until the fat lady sings. They didn't say anything about tapping out. I can understand not knowing to stop. Anybody else catch the pay-per-view?
Sadly, I did not.
Warren, are you back from the potty?
Oh, I did not watch any wrestling. I'm sorry.
Your recap was amazing, though. I feel like I saw it. I got a lot of those highlights right
That
there.
recap did enough for
Phenomenal.
me. I say that much.
Yeah, I don't understand. They do these video recaps right as the show's ending, which to me is amazing when WWE does that, because that's their outro for their show, is to recap, and they show the best highlights. I didn't pick the best highlights, but that took me most of the evening to cobble together. So, and then usually these clips disappear. So if you're watching this on replay and you're wondering what we're talking about, it's because I had to pull it down. So, if you watch it live, you get to see what we're talking about sometimes. But yeah, I forgot to do this for Warren before the segment. So here we go.
Somebody wants to know about wrestling. Some people call it wrestling, baby. Sports entertainment, brother. Suplex, clothesline, powerbomb, pile driver, sleeper hold, figure four, moonsault, DDT, body slam, headlock, leg drop, armbar, choke slam, sharpshooter, backbreaker. It's Tsugiri.
See, those video transfers allow me to set up the next segment.
True. What's it gonna be? Fat Jedi, guys?
I think so.
Nope.
I think we're gonna get. Yes, we got Fat Jedi. I do not have an intro for Fat Jedi. What I do have,
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, I hadn't heard that one.
Yeah, I didn't come up with it myself.
I
kind of thought it was the pinnacle. Which ones did you see, Results?
Well, I saw these guys tearing into this poor extra or whatever he is. Look at that. It's good to see Chivalry.
There's a couple lines. He's featured.
Like we covered a fat woman Piper before a fat man. Let the lady go first. There we go.
She's a sturdy woman.
Yeah, and people had the comments, and let's go through a few of them. Jedi Master Cholesterol.
Not bad.
I see it. Good.
The gravitational force is strong with this one. I guess that child is his own personal moon. His midi cholesterol levels are off the charts. It's a bit of a tongue twister.
Probably true.
The fork will be with you always.
Perhaps he misheard them.
Obesity Juan Cano Beans.
That's the other one that I kept hearing.
Jediabetes.
Not bad. It's succinct. I like it. It works.
I never thought about the cafeteria at the Jedi Temple until now. I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of Twinkies suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
Oh, it's sad. I love that one. It took a lot of work, whereas Jediabetes, like it's succinct. Where this one, I think it deserves the full quote that they're using there. The Jediabetes thing, like they at least could have gone with like type 2, but
Oh my goodness! I'm glad this came from grumpy old bastard because you can't be mad at him for saying such a thing.
yeah,
You kind
it
of
seems
expect
fitting.
it. I still prefer Padawan.
I think he
Padawan,
does have the
yeah.
braid. Fair enough. I think you could add Padawan to any of these then.
Fixed It was the final one I got there, where they replaced the girl with a plate of donuts.
Makes more sense. Yeah. So does it bug you guys that there is a fat Jedi? I mean,
No.
is a lot of Jedi about physical training? Like I thought Yoda was kind of mocking Luke for that. But perhaps I'm wrong.
No, this shouldn't be a surprise because I mean we've seen all forms of aliens and like Yoda's short to begin with.
Yeah, Yoda
I
was the example I
I
was
could
mainly
swear
thinking of.
there was
Like
a
he doesn't seem
Jedi that was
physical.
the. I could swear there was a Jedi that was a Hutt too. Believe it or not, but I don't.
What?
Jedi the
I
Hutt.
mean, I'm not saying that there hasn't been, but the thing about a human Jedi that is bigger, it's like it flies in the face of the verisimilitude of the universe. So what we see and what we understand the Jedi to be are people who are physically fit and in tune with they're healthy, fit, taking care of
Are
themselves.
they
They
physically
treat their
fit?
body
Like
as a temple, as it were.
Palpatine
So what
never seemed jacked.
well, no, not jacked though. I mean, that's fine. They can be, thin and or
No, but
different
even
different
the old
levels of
Jedi's
fitness.
can do lots of physical fighting. So
Right.
um,
So, but my point
But
is
I
that
get what you're saying. Like it does seem like they would master most of their desires, including like gluttony. So I get what you're saying. Like it does seem like they would be above this, but I don't know. Would it be weird to see an addict that's a Jedi as well?
yeah, it would be.
I don't know, but this particular picture looks like it's got To Catch a Predator vibes.
It does kind of, without knowing the context, it could be a sale or something going on here.
Yeah. So my point is that like with a what do you call it? A Hutt Jedi would be the peak form of what a Hutt would be. Wouldn't match what like the peak form of what a human would be, right? It wouldn't be like abnormal to that extent. That would be bizarre. But like different races have different body styles that are ideal for them. But this guy is human, so we can still judge him based off of human standards.
Yeah, I think
mean,
he's an addict, and that doesn't mean that he wouldn't have midichlorians. To me, it doesn't break anything. Warren, were you saying something
No,
different?
it doesn't break anything. It's
I
odd.
mean, we've never I mean, it's one of those things, right? Where we've seen in different. Now it's not Jedi, Star Wars related, but I've seen in fighting games, E Honda, big guy could fight, right? Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat. There was a guy named Borai Cho, pretty big guy, knew how to fight. Um, Kingpin, pretty big guy, knew how to fight. Doesn't mean that they can't fight. I mean, it's just you know that's just a big
Well,
size.
presumably somebody like Kingpin, right? Especially in that universe, people have big bodies, right? Like they are like Kingpin is not what is it? He doesn't have a standard body with the standard rules applying. Whereas there's no reason to believe that the two people on screen, or even, well, the third person seems to be a child, but the two adults on screen have substantially different body requirements and body like what is it, like metabolisms and whatnot and stuff. I mean, even if you have like one person has okay, actually no, this is a good example. I learned something recently that there's something called the cracker test, and what you do is you you take a cracker, like a saltine cracker, and however long you just leave it in your mouth, and however long it takes to turn like the taste to turn sweet indicates how many carbs your body should be taking in. I don't know if that's how often it fluctuates, but like there's a graph that like corresponds to your what is your recommended calorie intake or your carb intake. Sorry. So bodies are differently. They are built differently, but it flies in the face of what we know the Jedi to be, to have something like this on screen represented this way.
Not necessarily. Like I said, it could be one thing I mean, if he's in the order, right? That means he's holding up to his standard of being a Jedi, right? But I'm not condoning obesity. That's what I'm not saying. I'm saying,
Mhm.
however, that we've seen in other sort of genres and other forms of fighting where there's characters that don't look the norm, like in a sense that are fat, but they can hold their own in a fight, and you're like, okay, I guess I shouldn't mess with Butterbean this time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think it's one of those things where, and also you
Well,
gotta maybe.
presumably he an idea of what could be going on with him is that he is proficient with the force, and he can compensate for his size with the force and such, much like how a bigger built species like an alien species might be. But it does indicate also that perhaps he is consuming more calories than
Yeah,
would be
for sure. Well,
recommended.
no,
Like
he'd
he's
have to
got
be
some
to be
kind
that
of
size.
mental instability to be able
For
to.
sure. But check it out. He's got the rat tail, so he's a Padawan. He's not a full-on Master Jedi. You're not a perfect person just because you have midichlorians in you. He still looks somewhat young. It's hard to tell. Fat does make people look a little bit more baby-faced, so I'm not sure where
Also,
he's
we've
at,
seen
but
skinny,
perhaps he's learning and he's on his journey, and that is one of the things that he needs to master.
But
like
why
you
did the
mentioned,
costume department give him one button when every Jedi uses belts and robes? And
I mean,
why
he
did
has
they
a
give him
is
belt.
one
true.
too small?
There is a belt, but it looks like looks like a pamper
It's
because
more
of
of
the
a
way.
cummerbund.
I mean,
Yeah.
like if we think about it, right? Look at if we want to really go down this rabbit hole, right? Look at Dooku. Dooku is like a senior citizen. He's like 81, so age doesn't matter, shouldn't matter either. If we're gonna go there, because Count Dooku,
No,
I believe in the
that's
lore, was like
it's
70,
different.
but he's 70 something. If you're looking at an
No,
elderly old, what do you mean? What do you mean? How's that different?
you
You
can
could.
you no the
Some
point
people
about
some people
the point.
underestimate
Oh, okay,
age.
the point about this is that this is indicating something with his personality, not that there's
There's
something
nothing to do
wrong
with
with
his
his
personality.
body.
There's nothing wrong with his
No,
personality.
no,
How do
no.
we know?
Well, we don't know, but that's my point. Is that what is it? Calories in like there's a what is it? There are a whole host of conditions that you theoretically have to take account of. But the Jedi have a lifestyle such that they can focus on their health in ways that people who have to work can't, right? So if this guy was working at a diner, or if this guy was working as a mechanic, if this guy was working at any job ever, we would not be making these observations. It is because he is a Jedi
No,
where they do not have job requirements. They do not have the same kind of
I have to disagree.
like what it, okay.
The reason
I
I
mean,
disagree is because, like, if we're gonna go with that, we know. Okay, for instance, look at Eddie Hall, right? Eddie Hall is considered the world's strongest man, and if you were to look at him, he looks like a regular guy with a big beer belly, and you wouldn't think that he can push the weight, lift the weight he does, but he can because of how he's trained. Like look up, like if you were to look up Eddie Hall, Rosales. Eddie Hall's a pretty big guy. He's a beast of a guy, and he's the world's strongest man. And if you were to compare him to the guy who played, I believe,
that that is not that is not fair at all
how's it not fair?
because because um weightlifters and such, they have different what is it? They have the bulking phase, and then they have
But
their
he's not
dieting
bulking though.
phase.
He's trying to cut
No,
now, that's not the correlation was to show that even though he looks like a Homer Simpson body outside of now, because now he's going on a cutting phase because he wants to prove that he
yeah,
can
cutting phase. That's it.
yeah, he's doing that. He's typically not done that in his career. He's looks like a guy that he looks like the typical, I wouldn't say typical, but he got the big keg belly. But the man's strong. So I'm saying, like, okay, we know what the
I
Jedi
hear what you're saying, but at like 450 pounds, the dude has a six pack. Like he's built differently. Eddie Hall is the man.
No, but he doesn't. I've seen. Come on, Gray. We've seen Eddie Hall's. So he doesn't have a six pack. He has a
He
10,
does,
12,
man.
12.
It is crazy. Look at like all of his videos where he's working out with like Brian Shaw. Like his one thing that he has on like the other strongmen is he still has a six pack, even though he's like huge.
I've never seen a six pack, but I do respect the man's strength. What I'm saying is
I will show you his ab.
I will. All I'm saying is Fox. And
Look at that, man. It's like
yeah,
almost
but,
all of those.
Yeah, but yeah, the newest one, because like I said, he's just started shredding. But like the picture to the left.
The point is that underneath
Eddie
the
Hall is the
difference
man.
between the left and the right image right there, the comparison is that on the left, the person on the right is underneath. Is that he has that on top of the fat on top of.
But
the
that
stuff
Not to
on
shit
the
on your
left.
point, but the one on the left is him at peak, like actual like competition. Like that is when he was actually the world's strongest man. The guy on the right is him cutting to be aesthetically more pleasing.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Sure,
We shouldn't be judging, and like you said, it's underneath. We don't know. That's what all
But
I'm
this
saying
guy,
is we don't know.
This guy does the guy on screen. The guy on screen. You're right. We don't know, but
he's a no Jedi.
The Jedi do not value strength like that. They don't spend time bodybuilding. They're
But
monks.
that's not my correlation. My whole thing was that in his appearance, we're seeing that, like you. This is not coming out of my mouth. This came out of your mouth, when I say my mouth, your mouth, I'm just saying this is what you said. It's the right is what's underneath him, but we typically see the left, right? So what I'm saying is that's the correlation I'm saying. He might be that size. Yes, this is what we see, but we don't know what his skill is because we haven't seen it. Like sumo
It's not
Jedi,
about his-
like
it's the fact that no, because okay, weightlifting is a culture where they're going to be bulking up and cutting and bulking phase and cutting phase, and whatnot.
He's got that part down.
They, but a Jedi doesn't have that. A Jedi doesn't like have.
How do
that
you know
kind
he's
of
not in a
culture.
bulking phase?
You know what? If they wanted to do that, it would be strange, but okay, sure, why not?
I think you're looking at it from. I wasn't trying to confuse the weightlifting. I was just showing how someone you're looking at someone and you're saying, okay, this is the standard, but we don't know what he really can do. And I'm not advocate like I said, I'm not advocating for obesity. I'm not saying all Jedi should be fat. And and also there's been skinny ones. Like look at Sidious. Sidious looks like a frail stick. And the guy moves like he's a
What
ballerina
about
in
Snoke, man?
like Snoke. Snoke like these people look like
I do
sticks.
want to. I do want to stress my point is not his ability. I would expect him to have the same abilities as any other Jedi, at least nominally. Not to be excellent necessarily on the same level as some of the best, but I would expect him to be a competent Padawan at least. So look, we see the braid, it seems. So
you think he can go the distance? You think he can keep up?
I do, because that's the force. The force, much like with guns, right? Is they call it gun. A gun is the great equalizer. The force in the Jedi, in Star Wars, is a great equalizer. So he could be very technically or very skilled. The point is what does his weight say about him as a person? Because
He's got more than
choosing
midichlorians
to
in him.
keep it. Perhaps, but the point is that he's choosing to do that. He has the time and the resources to choose the way his body looks, and he's choosing to make it look like that.
He's choosing meditation and donuts. Too soon?
I thought it was funny.
I mean, I agree with you. It is a choice, but I think the thing is that a lot of, and I'm not saying you per se, a lot of people are hooked up on like what we've seen of like the Anakins, Slender, the Obi-Wans, the Ahsoka, the trying to even Yoda being so nimble and agile. But like I said, we've seen Sidious. The man is literally looking like he belongs in a retirement home, but yet in Revenge of the Sith, he just chops up 3 Jedi like it's nothing. Like that. That's what, like we don't know what his capabilities are. Yes, it's not appealing. I'm not saying I want to be like this guy. Look like uh 2-ton tuna the tuna the Jedi right here. I don't want to be this guy, but it is what it is. Like I'm like the thing
But
that boggles me.
I really don't think that other Jedi is judging him for his weight. It's more for his lack of facial
I don't think
hair.
so either. Maybe.
I mean, I get where you're coming from, Fox, but like it's not aesthetically pleasing, and it might say something about his character.
It's not necessarily about that. It's not. My point is that if my point is to defend the what is it?
He's definitely going to have a bigger seat on the
observation that he is
council.
making a choice. He's making a choice by being that way, and you can poke fun. What was it like? You can poke fun at people wearing beards. Like I have no problem with that. We could. I mean, I don't think that as far as beards go, I don't think that the guy on the left has a particularly funny beard or anything. But if some guy had like a beard that like had like excessive curls in it, we might joke about him curling his hair, right? Or how unfortunate it is that he has genes that like his hair is naturally that curly or something. Or if it doesn't, if we see him in a scene where his beard is more straight, and then other scenes where he's out and about the day and they're very curly, then we would have the information to know that he does style his beard that way on purpose. So we could laugh and joke about stuff like that. The point is that it's a choice.
Well, people are going to laugh and joke about whatever they want to laugh and joke about.
Indeed.
And it's going to be in poor taste in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But that's what joking is. Joking is about taking something that's obvious or not obvious and finding humor in the situation. I believe this man is a target not because there's a backstory for that character and why he chose to be the way that he is, or if whether it was not a choice to be the way he is, or that or that there's maybe a planet of large people that nobody looks any different than that. I don't think any of that's the case. I think it was a matter of a diversity hiring and putting representation on the screen and letting people eat their young to either defend or accost that particular choice.
Does seem inclusive.
Walter says, Devil's Advocate, if he was a gym rat, you could equally question his dedication to being a Jedi. Yeah, I don't think it's about the Jedi culture at all. I don't think it's about
We actually
any of
get that with one of the characters in this. For no reason, there's just a picture of him with his shirt off, totally ripped. It's like, wait a minute. Like, does that dude just spend all his time working out? Like, I don't know. It does seem interesting, but he doesn't seem like the most masterful Jedi, if you will.
No, that was the Thor eye candy choice that they make. Disney likes to make choices like that, where they force Thor to be without a shirt for a significant portion of the
Yeah,
show,
that's
or at least a portion of it. And so they did that with this guy, as eye candy for whoever decided that that's their choice of candy. And yeah, so I mean that choice. It's kind of like why at any point in an '80s horror film, whether it was a slasher or a monster, at any given point, the woman is going to run into something that's going to rip her top off, because that's
Verisimilitude.
just the way
or
it
as
is.
in, yeah. Or what is it? Scary Movie, where like the killer, he stabs, was it Carmen Electra, and then pulls out the breast implant for
I
humor.
remember that. I remember that in
Yeah.
my teens. It was
I
so
didn't,
funny.
I didn't see that. I did not see that. So
Oh yeah, scary movie. It should be on your list too.
yeah,
Gonzalez.
I got a whole list of things that I need to see that I haven't seen.
I will say this, and just to I guess end it here. This reminds me of the argument. Not argument. What I saw the other day.
Discussion.
Discuss. Yeah. Which thank you for that. Which was how someone complained that if you see in the trailer, there's like a Jedi with a whip lightsaber, and I was like, and they're like, oh man, you're
That's not
ruining
just any Jedi. That happens to be the creator and writer's wife.
I was like, okay. I was like, fair
You know
enough.
what? That actually goes to my point that the reason a person that has a specific job on the screen is not necessarily because of they're the best person for the role. It's because they want to do something specifically to make a point. And so hiring your wife is something that it was the reason why George Lucas's wife refused to come and work with him in the first place on his film Star Wars, because she didn't want the appearance of nepotism. She didn't want the appearance of favoritism. She didn't want people to think that the only reason she got the job was because of somebody I know. Other people don't care. That's yeah. I'm going to hire my wife because I believe that's the best person for the job, and that's what she did. She hired her wife because she felt that was the best person for the job. And again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know how that played out.
Well, my point was that people are complaining about like, oh man, there's a whip lightsaber. How could you? I'm like, wait a minute. So let me get this straight. We're okay with a fencing lightsaber. We're okay with a double-bladed lightsaber. We're okay with different colors. But because someone is using a whip as a lightsaber, we're gonna have an issue. Oh, by the way, we had a lightsaber that looked like a broadsword with Kylo Ren's. But
Well,
I mean, come on.
I actually do have a problem with this, is in that not everyone has the same understanding. There are people who have a problem with all of this. And you're right that there are some people who have selectively have problems with stuff. Because I mean, I've heard people. What is it? There are shots of the lightsabers where you can see, like, inside, you can see the crystal, and then they complain about like you shouldn't be able to. They even complain about that, about like how you shouldn't be able to see the crystal from inside from the emitter, because the emitter would block view of the crystal. And there are people who care about every single little tiny thing. I mean, back even with Star Trek, they were back like in the original run. There were people who would write letters to the like to Gene Roddenberry and stuff in the production about how they had a photon torpedo like be launched out of a phaser bank and stuff.
Well, people were pissed that Darth Maul had the dual saber, and then Kylo had the kyber crystal that needs venting or whatever. I don't know. This one seems especially egregious just because, like, they asked Leslie Headland, like, "Hey, what's the deal behind the colors? There's like yellow lightsabers now," and she's like, "Oh, it looks aesthetically pleasing." So I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of thought put into it, or like they actually checked the lore.
Well, Mace Windu,
but
Mace Windu broke the lore when he said, "I want purple."
You got to though.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know,
you got to give him the purple saber.
You know, it's like no, there's either the good color or the
blue,
bad
green,
color,
red.
and you had the three, you know.
Yeah.
And if you go bad, your saber changes color to the appropriate alignment, you know. And so, what does purple put him at between blue and
I mean,
red?
we had orange, we had white, we had and we
I
had
would like to say, I would like to say that I'm not against updating and changing things. Two examples of this, one from Star Wars, one from Star Trek, is the move from episode 4, I think, to episode 5, where they had the lightsaber be a cold blade, right? Where he cut off the guy's arm and it bled in episode 4. And then in episode 5, from then on, it was treated as a hot blade where it would melt things and it would cauterize and whatnot. And in Star Trek, they moved the Klingons being from basically humanoid to having those ridges. And I think that when you're making a change to be more creative and to be more complex, I think that and to put more thought into it, I think that that's good. It still does create a problem about continuity and such, but I think that it's at least marginally excusable, if not completely excusable.
Well, I think Worf answered the question in Next Generation when he was asked about it when they went back in time, and he said, "We don't talk about that."
Are you out of your Vulcan mind?
But
And
yeah,
so-
I mean, I don't want to, dump.
Well,
on
it's just that
Go ahead.
the only problem I have with the just to say real quick about specifically the whip is that it breaks the physics of it from what we understand. Is that there isn't it? I mean, what is it? Like different colors you can explain by having different crystals.
But what about the stupid what were they, like taser, like flipper arounder things that they had in like Force Awakens TLJ? Like I understand this is, you know, hundreds of years in the future now, but you know what I mean? Like they've done like their own kind of weird weapons for each series. Sorry, my dog barked.
Well, I agree. Well, see, this is my basic theory on, or analysis, I should say, on Star Wars is that George changed things. George, especially with moving from the original trilogy to the prequels, but even within the prequels, that there are problems with it. There are compromises that were made, and that every series or every work beyond what George made has just exploited those changes to make bigger and bigger changes. They ramp things up. They're like, well, if he can have from a certain point of view, then so can we. And they take liberties with it and they exaggerate. They just make things more and more complicated, less and less related to the way things originally were supposed to work.
All of this, the whip blade was established in the Old Republic books that they were writing to replace the extended universe stuff. So they wrote it into canon before they used it on screen, which is what they did with Kamala Khan and her character. So they're doing their best to cover the bases when it comes to introducing new things to the series. And I think those books have sold as well as mine, if not a little bit better. Um, which means didn't do so well. Walter says, I guess my question is, how do we distinguish expanding on lore versus lore breaking? Well, I think they
I think
not
it's a
real.
great question.
Yeah, I think if they're using stuff from the old Republic, they've already previously established the lore, and so it's not expanding or breaking. So the whip stays, I guess.
Based.
But who
Does she get a
knows?
fedora though?
She does not get a fedora. No, she gets a bald
And she have a
head.
trilby instead.
Good question. Good question. Smaller brim on a
Do
trilby.
you know what it? Yeah. Do you know what a trilby is, Gray?
I do. I prefer a pork pie, but trilbies are nice.
Warren, what goes on your head?
My head, a Yankee baseball hat.
Man, they make them that small.
Yep.
Yankee with no brim, or you go brim?
I go brim.
And backwards
No.
to the side.
No, I'm not. I'm not some hoodlum. No, not even that.
Curved or flat with the little hologram on it.
Flat. I've never been a backwards hat guy. That just reminds me of that meme of douchebag Steve. I don't. That's why I don't. Never did that. Um. Yeah, that's not me. But yeah,
Trying to get a binary Jedi. The fat Jedi won't seem so bad.
I'm just hoping that I'm hoping that Acolyte to like I just hope that Acolyte turns out decently because I've always been more of the Sith guy. I've never been only person in the Jedi I ever liked was Obi-Wan. I still think he's someone said I was crazy for saying that. I think Obi-Wan's probably the greatest Jedi to ever live, but they're like, "Oh, that's
Well, hello
bad."
there.
Well, outside of that two liner.
Do you still
word.
think that after the Obi-Wan show? Did you happen to catch that one?
Oh, the hello there?
The Obi-Wan series?
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
Disney
No,
one?
I still even after I still because like
All right.
he the thing is Obi-Wan, if you really look at it, was the epitome and the poster boy of what a Jedi should be. He wanted the love, he
Yeah,
couldn't.
he was kind of our blueprint.
He was the blueprint, but not many people followed the blueprint. Like that's the thing. Like he upheld, he was unbiased, he was supportive, he didn't
Until he
want
gave it all away. And then
yeah,
just gave up on it for a
until
while and then
until
forgot how to
until
use the Force.
until he failed on Anakin. That's when he gave up on it. But like I think he was maybe this is a topic for another day, but I think he was the if you had to put a poster of a Jedi, I think he's the best. I mean, yes, Anakin was flashy, yes, Yoda was the strongest, but he have upheld the standard.
But
Oh yeah.
didn't they have a duel they didn't
Yeah,
have before, and it's like we're gonna have our last duel
it was supposed to
twice.
be
Visually, it looked cool. The way they lit it with the sabers, that looked cool. But
Yeah,
it kind of seems like that would come up or something.
yeah, the duel was okay. I mean, my problem with that was that it was unnecessary. I think the Obi-Wan show was unnecessary. Um, I thought Boba Fett was unnecessary. Ahsoka seemed like the reason I was pleasantly surprised with Ahsoka because there has to be a feature after all this Star Wars stuff. So that's kind of why I was excited for that. But like, that's just me. I'm just rambling now.
Well, I think that Star Wars is a great topic that can go on for hours. So,
True.
no worries.
No worries. But, we made it back to the Acolyte, and we'll probably come back to that more times because they've still got 5 issues, 5 episodes, 5... What am I thinking of? Episodes?
5
Yeah.
episodes, yeah.
Episodes?
5 episodes. 5 episodes left. And we'll get back to that if they continue to drop the ball or not.
I'm sure there will
Well, at
be
least-
nothing controversial in the series. I'm sure it'll be great.
I'm sure I think they're done with all the controversy. I don't think they're doing anything else controversial in the story.
I will
Possibly.
say, did you see the link I sent you for Vox Machina, the official date?
I did, and we are going to talk about that next week. Next week's topics are Vox Machina Season 3. We covered 1 and 2 on the show, so we'll be happy to come back to that. We'll be talking about Sony buying the Alamo Drafthouse line of theaters. So, they were after theaters after all, but for some reason they didn't take Sherry Redstone's when they were looking to pick up Paramount's back catalog. So we'll be looking into that a little bit and see what's going on there with Paramount and if they're going to restructure or if they're going to move forward and sell pieces of themselves off and give Byron Allen what he really wants, BET. We'll be looking at The Boys Season 4. There'll be a couple of episodes in, so we'll have a chance to take a look at that. And, of course, we have the Lightning Round coming to DVD, box office, and, of course, we'll all do this with the Wheel of Topics. Guys, what do you guys got planned for this Sunday or the rest of the week? We'll start with Warren. What do you got coming up?
Well, just the gym and trying to relax. Had a busy set of projects this last 2 months.
Well,
so.
tell the gym I said hi. I'll be hanging out with the other fat Jedis at the donut counter.
Yeah, and nothing go. Just watching all the shows, catching up with the boys and all this other shows. That's pretty uneventful. Oh, my birthday is this week. That's about it.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy future birthday, sir.
We would have got you a animated GIF of a cake had we known. So,
Well, I will wish you happy birthday later because I subscribe to the superstition that you should. What is it? It is totally cool to wish people a happy birthday after their birthday, but it is unlucky to wish people happy birthday before their birthday.
well, then I take it back.
Well, I have
Warren.
damned you, sir.
I take it back.
Okay, I'll
I'm more than like a politician. I'm more than happy to flip flop. I take it back. We'll see what happens after your birthday, and then I'll
All right.
congratulate you then. But Fox, what do you got coming up?
I'm working on some assets. I'm still I'm preparing to do a couple of videos, but I've just have been unhappy with the production value of my channel, so I've been kind of taking a break on actually making content and have been working on preparing to make content, essentially to make things streamlined, to make things more cohesive and better looking. So I'm still in the process of that.
Yes, always developing. That's what we always do here. I did all of these things, these video transitions, based on a suggestion from Warren. I don't mind talking about him right now because I know he's off getting his food. So yeah, that's why we've got those new intros there.
Well, they
So
look
yeah,
great.
always work on developing and making your show better as best you can, and doing it so that people can be enjoyed or enjoy it, if you will. Gray, you've got some stuff coming on.
Yeah, real content on my channel real soon. I'm thinking next week I'm bringing a good old show back. But yeah, check out That Darn Kidda's channel every Thursday for the Thinkers. Foxrue joins us. Excuse me, that is so horrible of me to have used your dead name. But every once in a while Rosales joins. We have fun panelists from at least 3 different continents. It's a good time. We all disagree, but in a tasteful way. Come join us. Think about some stuff. What about you, Rosales?
Indeed.
What do you have going on, sir?
Well, I've got the comic books coming out. The one comic book is coming out bi-weekly. And that's going to be the Dynamo. Of course, trying to prep everybody for the premiere issue of the new Stunning Adventures, and I'm still trying to work out how I can get them physically to people. So the physical print versions of these will be available soon. Just don't have a date yet set for those. Until then, you can have a look at the classic comic books that we're reintroducing, and enjoy those as well for free on Global Comics. Is how I'm digitally distributing them, so that I don't have to hold on to the server space myself. So works out great. And as always, it's always good to be able to agree to disagree. I got a little thing I show for that.
My way's clearly better.
Boringer and deader. Let's agree to disagree.
So be sure to watch Kidda's channel for the Thinkers Doing a Think, because they always agree to disagree after disagreeing entertainingly on the channel. So, and of course, yeah, we've got links to as many people as we can, or that I know about, in the YouTube description. You can follow our friends by clicking through and subscribing to them as well. So, and I got to get Fox's on here so that I can add him to the list as well. So I got Gray, Chillmonger, Kitty, of course, Rosales Comics 76. She does a lot of interesting things. Be sure to follow her. The Jaded Fanboy, who makes sure to tell you what's annoying and stupid in theater, in movies. And of course, Joker's Corner. He's often very busy doing his work that he does so well, the voice acting and physical acting as well. He's working on a project right now that I have no information about, and even if I did, I wouldn't be able to tell anybody about it. So it'll be it's always nice when you can get past the NDA and talk to people about what you're doing out east. But yeah, thanks guys for being here. I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a day, and I'm gonna move outside to the grill for Father's Day and burn meat for people, because that's what I love to do, is grill out some meat. And yes, yeah, Bryce, I couldn't have said it better. Have a good one out there. I gotta find where I'm at. I know where I'm at. I'm right here at this. Take care, guys.
In your eyes 風がそっと囁きつけて君と過ごす未来描くよどんな困難さえ乗り越えてそばにいたいから決して終わらないラブストーリー君の